Good evening, guys. Slightly later than planned. It's 10. It's 7 minutes past 10. 7 minutes late, but look, you know what it is. It's the Friday night takeaway with me, Mr. B, and my right hand man, Talk.
Yo, stop.
So it's the Friday night takeaway. Talk. I'm just going to ask you. Obviously, we are a team, so we count as one. But I'm under the impression that we've been stood up tonight, mate. I feel like I'm standing in the bar on a blind date, and she just hasn't turned up, and I'm looking at. I can't see him. I think our guests haven't arrived, mate.
No, listen. I don't know who they are, but I think there was Arsenal was mentioned, so I think that answers the question as to why. You know what I'm saying they couldn't like face up to it because they know what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
What we talking about facing up to first, Talk? Just out of matter of curiosity.
Because they know they're gonna get bantered, they're gonna get ribbed, they're gonna get pressured about the top 4 race. They're not gonna do it. Well, I was gonna do anyway. I was really gonna give it some. But, you know what?
Top 4 race. Top 4. Yeah. Oh, sorry, right. Sorry, I've misinterpreted. I actually thought the race was over. To be honest, I'm feeling that the race is over. I don't want to come over here with my. Go.
If we lose tomorrow, yeah, then it's over, bro. But if we won't lose tomorrow, we're going to win. I've already said 3-0, Man United. Boom, boom. But
very, very confident. Can I ask what a Monday score was, please?
Let me just think about that. What was it? Yeah, you know, it was. I'm sure it was 1-0. You know, see the game out. That's what Ralph wants, apparently. I think Amondi's been talking to Ralph, you know, behind our backs, and he's not telling us, which I find absolutely disgraceful. And he should have got me his autograph. Amondi, if you listen to him, next time you speak to Ralph, I want his autograph, bro. Come on. I want him to sign Gagan Press on a shirt and send it to me. And but apart from that, Mr. B, how are you doing? How's your day been?
Oh, it's been good, man. I'm not gonna lie. The last day of the week, man, my weeks are stressful as enough. You know what my mouth's like on during the week. So it's gonna be nice to not swear for half hour to 40 minutes unless somebody tries to wind me up in the comments. Anthony Herbert, if he's here,
yes,
I'm ready for you, mate. I'm ready for you.
Well, look, Mr. B, we know you're in a very, very high-pressured job. Very high pressure. We can forgive the effing and the blinded and the observations of other people's driving skills. It's very, very good, though. I like it. Our afternoon, that sort of, you know, Mr. B live from, you know, Oxford Street. It's quality. I love it. That's all good. But look, let's get down to what we're talking about this evening on here. This is what Gary Neville pointed out as the 5-point plan, you know, for Man United and with the owners, the Glazers. So obviously there are some aspects of the 5-point plan which I think realistically we've got to go, yeah, well, look, are all those things going to happen at once? No, I don't think so. They're giving up the shares, for example, to generate the 500 million. No, they you know, the reason why I think they do what they do is to actually protect the shares. That's the last thing they want to do, is give any more of what they own away, even if it means selling it. You know what I mean? Even if it means them keeping major control of the club, they still don't want to give up their haggling rights when it comes to selling the club. They don't want to be giving anybody else any kind of, you know, profit, benefit, or say when it actually comes for them to time, because they will sell the club at some point. No two ways about that. But so that one's out of the window. For me, I don't know if you agree with me, but for me, the ones that were kind of mentioned by Gary Neville, the two that I would say need to happen more than any of them is the training facilities updating, and we do need the new stadium, or we do need the stadium bringing up to date.
Okay.
That's
okay.
Do you know what I mean?
I take up to date and not new. Yeah, I'll take up to date on not new. You guys in the chat, do we want a new Old Trafford or do you want a revamp? So talk, coming in, new one. Give me your points on the new one, mate.
Well, like I said, I don't want Old Trafford moving. I don't want it moving from its current site. I believe with clever architects, clever architects could go in there and they could see where everything lies, like the Munich tunnel, anything to do with Munich, any other what we regard as important parts of the club historically. They could easily keep them in place and knock everything else around it, like the stands, the stands themselves. They've been updated, after 58 anyway, and after 68. So is that really going to affect the club and lose an atmosphere if you do that? No, I don't believe so. I don't think it is. You don't have to touch the actual pitch itself. The pitch can stay where it is. Build everything else around it, all upwards. The whole sort of guts of the club around what we've got right now by knocking everything else down, but keeping intact those sacred, parts of the club that we hold dear. And what the club hold dear, to be fair, it's not just us as fans, it's the club as well. You know what I mean? So I believe that there is a way that they can do that. And like I say, clever architects will find a way of doing that. Whether it becomes enshrined in some kind of glass enclosure or something, and it's like, look, that's what this club's all about, or a no-go area or whatever. But it has to stay, it has to remain. I don't want us to lose the whole feel of the club. You know what I mean?
So do you think that the atmosphere, because obviously a lot of people who have changed stadium have said they've had an issue with the atmosphere, are looking at, for example, I'll go to what's the London stadium, West Ham Stadium, for
the bowling ground.
Yeah. For 2 years they moaned about it lacking atmosphere, but that's because they weren't winning. Arsenal again, when they moved, they say, looking back on it, it's had a lack of atmosphere, but it's down to what the team does on the pitch. I think that provides that glow, and there's a lot of very, very good memories at Old Trafford for a lot of people. Talk. I'm with you, Talk. I wouldn't want to. I want a revamp.
Yeah, but I mean, look, let me put it this way: if you like you walk into your living room at home, right, and it's you got your layout that you've got now. If you go out to work and you come home and your missus has totally changed it around, it feels different, doesn't it? Mm. It feels different, but it's still got that same feel of home. You still,
as long as the bedroom stays in the same place, so and that's what we're talking about with the whole Munich tunnel part of it. The Munich tunnel is our bedroom in our house. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, if you, it's all about the doing it right. You've got to do it right. If, for example, you come home and it's totally been redecorated, all the furniture's changed, the carpet's changed, everything's changed. You're like, yeah, well, hold on a minute. This ain't the same house I left this morning. It don't feel the same. That's what I'm saying. We need to keep that there at Old Trafford. Now, people have talked about certain aspects of Old Trafford in terms of the seating arrangements. We know it can be quite cramped in certain areas of the stadium, but that's a good thing, for my opinion. That's what creates the atmosphere. I don't want a space where there's too much space between, you and whoever's in front of you and at the side of you. I don't want this big open reggae, like I can stretch my legs out and recline back without bumping into someone and go, oh, sorry, mate. You know what I mean? Just put half your drink all over your brand new shirt. Sorry. You know what I mean? I don't want that. I don't want that kind of like open space with, that needs filling with like fakeness. We want to keep what we've got right now. And I do believe, like I said, with the right people in at the club to make these things happen, they could easily do that. Whether it costs more money, who knows? But would it cost that much more?
And this is the point. It's they always, they bought the club without their money, and I just feel they're going to buy this stadium. They're going to have a stadium again with their name, emblazoned all over it, and it's going to be something that they didn't pay for again. And this is my.
Go on. No, go on.
No, this is my issue. I just feel it's all talk, mate. Honestly, I really do believe that it's all bullshit. I mean, we're already the biggest stadium in the country, bar Wembley, fine. But size wise, are we going to increase again? Is that what they're looking for? You know, what is the reasoning for it? If you want a new stadium, fine, but I just don't believe that we can move from the site that we're on. I don't think we can move from the site that we're on. We hear people talking about rats. So bloody what, man? The kebab shop up the road's probably got rats out there when the place closes as well, but it doesn't stop anybody eating their bloody kebabs. You know what I mean?
That's it, Mr. B. All that talk of rats and all of this and all of that. So yeah, that is what it is. But you know what I mean? That's not a major concern for me. This is about, keeping us modern, keeping us at the forefront. And let me ask you this: if the Glazers come out and said, "Right, look, we're going to build a new stadium on the site that we're on right now. We're going to keep the Munich tunnel. We're going to keep the Munich Memorial. We're going to keep."
Sorry, Chris.
It's calling the Glazers. Oh yeah, now you've got a point. Now there's a problem.
I thought you was talking about rats. Sorry.
Yeah, but other people have been talking about rats. I know Bath was mentioning it, and everything else. But I mean, but if they say, "Look, yeah, we're going to build a new stadium here on this site," they blah blah blahs, but we're going to call it, there's something like Gary Neville said, there's something Old Trafford, right? In other words, we sell our soul in terms of the naming rights.
Yeah, that is the biggest issue.
Now, again, as fans, we have to. With owners who can't really afford to run the club like we want them to and do these things we want them to do, if they're not going to sell it, we're going to have to make a compromise as a fan base. My compromise would be, I would accept us having a naming deal with whichever company is going to give us the most money, right? But you're keeping Old Trafford where it is, and it stays something Old Trafford Stadium, Theatre of Dreams, whatever. As long as Old Trafford's in there, I don't care what goes before it, because for me, it's just always going to be OT. Simple as that. No matter what it's called, you know what I mean? It's going to be called OT, whatever. So I don't think that's such a big deal from my point of view. It's more about the actual site.
Yeah, but it's the name. It might be called the Sainsbury's Arena, Old Trafford. You know what I mean? It has to be, to me.
Yeah, but
it would have to be something that. All right, it not necessarily rolled off the tongue, but I don't want Asda Arena. I want something that means. I mean, that's going to cost an absolute fortune. So there's only certain, let it be the Apple Arena, or let it be something so that they can sort out our bloody Wi-Fi there, because you can't do nothing at Old Trafford, bruv. You can't do nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Look, well, like I said, for me. This is about a compromise thing with us now. We have to look at what's going on in the rest of the clubs around us. Obviously Chelsea are out of that equation as it stands, because I think they know themselves. That's why I think there's a big. Is there not a what do you call it? A protest tomorrow at Chelsea?
I did hear a rumor, but.
Yeah, I think there's a protest at Chelsea tomorrow, because I think they understand, the fans understand that all this nonsense that's being spouted about, Roman wants this for the club and Roman wants that for the club and blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, but look, we know realistically that ain't going to happen. It's just not, it can't happen. It doesn't work like that. I don't want to get into the Chelsea thing, but anyway, we've got to, these clubs that are around us, Man City, it's really Man City and Newcastle now. Because Liverpool aren't the club with money, are they? Liverpool haven't got loads of money. You know what I mean?
Well run.
So it's really Man City and Newcastle. So we've got to keep up with those teams in terms of what we can do, in terms of when it comes to like players becoming available, who like Haaland, for example. We've got to be in a position, if If it comes down to him from his agent, and his agent comes to us and says, "Yeah, Man City are all over this here, Man United," but if you can better it slightly, he'll come and sign for you. Whoosh, where do we stand then? And we can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So we've got to be in a position where we can do that. But like I said, the Glazers they ain't got the monies to do that.
No.
But having naming rights, Mr. B, to the club,
it's their way.
Could enable us. Enable us.
But I get it. I understand. I understand the naming rights, but when you hear other clubs changing their, the stadiums, it doesn't bother me. I don't think it ever has, because I never assumed or thought that Old Trafford's name would be changed. All right, to us it'll be Old Trafford, but in generations, I'm not talking about my son's generation or his son's generation, because I'd make sure he never calls it anything other than Old Trafford. But those things always filter out. They always get distant with time, and I'm not going to be around in 150 years, but for it not to be called Old Trafford, flipping it, bruv, it's a chaos out there, so.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is, but like I said, we're going to have to, as fans, accept we are going to have to make some compromises as long as these owners are in charge, because, back to the 5-point plan, one of the other ones was putting 150 million quid a year into the sporting project. And it's like, hold on a minute, they ain't going to do that. Stop taking dividends. Then in order for them to be doing all these kind of things, they're going to have income coming in from other sources, i.e. the biggest one being the naming rights to Old Trafford. So that in itself right there is an option for us as a club, because, but again, having said that, I mean, yeah, you might get Apple. Let's say it was Apple, and they said, you know what, we're going to give you 500 million quid a season for the naming rights. And we're like, what? Oh, yeah. Jesus Christ. Can you imagine how much of that's actually going to go into the club? Not a lot.
Not a lot. No.
Not a lot. Tampa Bay are going to become like, you know what I mean? Tampa Bay are going to get a brand new stadium and all that jazz, isn't it? You know what I mean? Before Man United. It's just the harsh reality of how they run it at the moment.
Where's it gone? Sorry. Okay, so he wants to invest 100. That's what we were just talking about. They invested 150 mil. Is that pie in the sky? I mean, let's be honest. We should be investing that now. I'm sure we could afford to do it. Talk. What are we spending? What are we spending on average every year on transfers for the last 5 years? 60, 70, 80 mil.
Yeah, it's probably going to be around that figure, I should imagine. But it's not just the transfers, it's the actual wages as well. It's the wages, you know what I mean? We have to balance up here what we're earning in terms of TV revenue and shirt sales, etc. That kind of stuff, merchandise. We have to balance up the books here, because look at what we've got players on some outrageous wages.
Yeah, but that's what United. I don't understand how. I don't understand it.
But that's just the price of being Man United, unfortunately. When you're the club of the size of Manchester United, you've got to go out. You can't be offering players, 100 grand a week. You know what I mean? They're just going to go, well, no, sorry, I can get more than that at blah, blah club. And I know it's not as big a name as Man United, but they're going to give me more money. You know what I mean? So we are in a dangerous sort of position right now as a club, because, like I say, these current owners with the current regime that they've got at the club, for me, I think they've just been terribly, terribly advised. They really have, and there's a lot that they could sort of kill 3 birds with 1 stone if they were to make one of these moves, which probably would be to actually either do the shares thing or sell the naming rights to the club.
Do you think they can sell the naming rights now without improving Old Trafford? Or would it have to be a new stadium? Because I'm just thinking about how they could make money not money on the cheap, but if they do the naming rights now, they spend no money on the revamp, because it would pay for it. Maybe not pay for itself quite, but
Well, it
to get
depends
your
on
name
what
at Old Trafford is going to cost a fortune.
It depends on what the you know what the people who are going to name it and pay the money, what they want in return. You know what I mean? If they're just paying to be associated with Manchester United, they're not going to be too concerned about the ground. You know, the questions asked is it fit for purpose? Of course it is. Yeah, it is. It does its job. It holds 70,000 fans. It does the job. It's like, yeah, but okay. Looking at it from other teams now, you like your newest stadiums, i.e. West Ham. Who is it? Who's got the newest stadiums then? West Ham.
Tottenham,
Arsenal, probably Man City as well, because theirs isn't that old really in the big scheme of things. The Etihad. So you know these have got really new stadiums, whereas we are now becoming like the poor men. Not only on the pitch.
Grade 1 listed. I get it. I get it.
You know what I mean?
I get it. I do get it.
It's concerning, Mr. B, a very concerning time. And let me just ask you this question here. You think about like Chelsea being bought for whatever it's being bought for, is it 3 billion?
Yes.
Now, if Chelsea if they can go up for sale as quick as they did and have so much interest, surely if Man United was to get put up by the Glazers for sale, whoosh, you know. But again, we have to be realistic as fans here, Mr. B, and accept if we ever do come up for sale, are we going to be happy to say bye-bye to the Glazers and then bring in new owners from wherever who have got other problems?
Okay,
right?
So and this is, yeah, you know what? It's Friday. I'm not going down that whole level, mate. You know, that's for, I think that's for a deeper level show. But I understand what you're saying there. I do get that point.
Yeah. You know, there's so much. Listen, we are in if you think, I know it's scary actually when you think about it, but if you take a step back and have a look at exactly where we are right now, it's very scary. We've got owners
we need to start winning. At the end of the day, I'll be honest. I just feel that everything becomes better with winning, but it's easier to deal with bullshit when you've got another side of it making you smile. You know what I mean? We're just thinking right now, how are they going to benefit? How are we going to benefit? And right now, I'm not seeing any benefit at all from them, dude. I just think it's a money. I just think that they're not going to be talking about a new stadium if it doesn't benefit them in the short term, medium term, and long term.
Oh, excuse me, just had to sneeze. Yeah, but
oh God, is that what that was? I thought you farted.
No, I was just sneezing, bro. Yeah. I mean, now, are we actually an attractive club to buy right now compared to some
Manchester United, bruv? But again, is that us being Manchester United fans thinking that we are the be all and end all? Yeah, I hear that.
Also,
I hear that.
We just talked about there. As long as we're winning, it's like, yeah, but winning. Okay, let's just say, for example, we had won the FA Cup this season, right? What price does it cost to keep that going, to be able to make the changes needed to challenge again for the FA Cup or the Premier League or the Champions League the season after? And the season after that, you have to make long-term provisions. You have to bring in new players. You have to refresh the squad. You know, you have to do good business. We ain't doing any of that. And that's the worrying part, is we've not even won anything yet for such a long time of any real, all right, the Europa League, you know, wow, big deal. But we haven't won anything major, really, really major yet. And you know, and we're already talking about the owners and the club being in a really crappy place in terms of the finances. We're still on for nearly £500 million in debt.
Fucking hell. Imagine a debt that hasn't moved in 10 years. I mean, they're taking the fucking piss out of us. I mean, I've got one here. Okay, I'm gonna throw just a random question out there for you guys in the comments as well, and talk to you as well. Without mentioning regimes, without mentioning whatever they doing, whatever they're supposed to be doing, are we better with the Glazers, as in them stinking taking their money out, rather than, I'm sorry, I'm going to ask a question, it's Friday, than maybe a state-owned, what's the word? A state-owned owner? Because obviously they have issues with this, they have issues with that. Are we saying that as shit as they are with the other things that have going on or things that have come out, we're not so much in a bad situation?
Well, this all depends on personal opinion. This is some people. Good question, Mr. B, because some people will say, "Oh, well, I don't give two flying doodahs about this or that and the other and all the rest of it." Where again, you'll get a certain percentage of the fans saying, "Well, I do." You know what I mean? I care about this and I care about that. I don't know what I would prefer. Like you say, you're not pointing your fingers at anywhere in particular or anything like that. But I would much prefer owners who are just, good business people with a good understanding of what the club is all about, how it's supposed to be run, and keeping up with the expectation. If you go out and buy a club that is like I'm going to say this, no disrespect, but like a Leicester City, for example, what's their expectation? It's not to go out and win the Premier League every year or go and win the Champions League. No, it's not. Their expectation probably is to get into Europe each season, whether that be 6th or 4th. So therefore, yeah, okay, cool. That's their expectation. But for us, as at Man United, how come you can't not now be expected to win the Premier League or challenge for the Premier League and the Champions League, doing well in it, being in a fit and proper position to actually, go out and challenge for these big trophies, because that's what we're all about. There's nowhere else to go after you've won the Champions League. Well, I'll say for us, the treble, right, and the doubles. There's nowhere else to go from there. Only keep repeating what you've already done. And once you stop doing that, we're stuck. We're stumped. We're totally irrelevant.
And that's our benchmark.
Of course it is. And as it stands right now, we are kind of, I won't say irrelevant, but we're not in the footballing sort of challenge.
Echelons. Yeah. No, I hear that. Our neighbours out there, but our performances aren't. I get it.
Yeah. So, it's a difficult question to ask and a difficult question to answer in terms of who would you prefer as owners and where do we stand as fans in terms of, our views on that, what that the potentials, should I say, of what the owners, could be involved in.
Mark Edmonds' comment here. Saudis and Glaziers both suck. Like choosing which turd you want to fish out of the toilet. Libra, don't we?
Look, this is exactly what I'm saying, Mark. We could find ourselves out of the frying pan and into the fire in many respects, and maybe, just maybe, this is the price of success. The Premier League, when it was first inaugurated and brought to us, it was a magical thing, wasn't it? We were all like, wow, the Premier League, this new league, wow, this is going to be amazing. All the money, wow, this is great. But now it's outstripping itself, because the money that is being generated for people wanting to watch the game is not enough, because the money now that's being taken out of the game in terms of players' wages, players' fees, agents' fees, blah, blah, fee for this and blah, fee for that. It's totally unbalanced. It's unsustainable, in my opinion. And that's why the ESL will rear its ugly little head once more. There's no two ways about that. You know what I mean? It will happen. It will happen. Oh, hey, oh, someone is just a bit.
Hey.
I don't
Well,
believe it. We got a late person today. Do you realise how late you are? Do you know there is a fine, don't you? You know there's a fine.
What's the bleeding story?
It's the story now. You're about 3 hours late there now. What's the matter with you?
Yeah, I've won too many of them.
listen,
All right,
that
okay.
is
I know, sorry,
that
man.
is nah, listen, big man, that ain't no problem. That's perfect timing. The part we were just talking about was obviously the Old Trafford bit. I know what you did. I've realised what you did. You didn't want to talk about Old Trafford. So you've left it late on your Guinness on a Friday night, and you've come in to move on to just perfect, absolutely perfect fucking timing, mate. Bless you, man. How you doing, big man?
All good, man. I tell you, like, you know, I was just on my stream earlier on with a few, like, you know, a few legends, and that's why I was delayed. And I apologize, really do. And what happened was, my phone went dead, and I had the StreamYard thing on my phone, and I forgot the pin, and I was just like, oh, for fuck's sake. And eventually got the pin and stuff like that. So look, I'm here now. Better late than never. But look, Paddy last, as they always say, you know.
Listen, my dad was Irish, so from Dublin. So, mate, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, that's where...
Old Trafford. Don't let you go. Go on, I'll let you go. I'll let you finish.
Sorry, come again there. I didn't hear you.
I'll let you finish.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, I'm originally from the west of Ireland, but in 1995, I moved up to Dublin, and that's why I have the Dublin accent on me. Like, I should be talking, like, you know, oh, how's it going, you will? Come on, Arsenal. Typical Irish
man. A bit softer there. It's a bit softer out in the west.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all good, bro. Can I just ask you?
How are you guys keeping, Henry?
Yeah, we're all good. We just want to ask you your opinions on, because obviously with you being Arsenal fan, you know, you lost Highbury and went to the Emirates. Now, was that what was actually lost when you did that move in terms of the whole history and atmosphere of what the Highbury had?
Yeah, I remember I've been to Highbury so many times, and for me, Highbury, and I'm sort of old school, like, you know, look, I'm 39 years of age, but I love old football, British football grounds, and where the fans are in on top of the players, you know, and Highbury was like that for me. I remember going the first time I was ever in Highbury, and I was just like, oh my God, this is why I support Arsenal, you know. I started supporting Arsenal in 1989 when we bet your unfamiliar, well, your rivals, let's say Liverpool, when we beat them last day of the season 2-0, and we had to beat them by 2 goals to win the league in Anfield, and we'd done it, you know, and that's the reason why I support Arsenal. When I went to Highbury, it was just steeped in history. The ground, you know, the opposite team that's coming to the ground was, like, you know, in on top of the players, and you knew you were in Highbury, you knew you were playing Arsenal, you knew you weren't going to have an easy game. Then it was about a year then before I came back, when the Emirates opened in 2006. I came there in 2007. And my first time when it came up through the, like, you know, sort of, you're in the stadium and you come up and you meet the pitch. And I seen the pitch and I went, wow, the pitch is amazing. But my heart dropped, because the stadium sort of goes out like that, you know, whereas Highbury is in on top of you, you know. Yeah. And for me, it was just, no, we're losing something here, you know. It sort of turned like, it's like Arsenal with the badge. The old Arsenal badge is, like, you know, steeped in history and stuff like that. The new Arsenal badge it's like a Disney movie designed it or something like that. You know, it doesn't represent the club to me. You know, your Manchester United badge just there is like, you know, it's a nice old school badge. Whereas the Arsenal badge it's a Disney sort of character for me. You know?
It's been modernised. It's been modernised, hasn't it? The Arsenal badge, and hopefully they're not even going to consider that. I mean, our badge has changed from time to time, but you know, we need to keep the elements of the badge because you know there are certain aspects of it that can't ever change. That is obviously the Red Devil and the ship. Now we know the Red Devil actually that came from the Salford rugby fraternity. That's where we nicked that from, right? And the ship, we know that's about the industry and the trade, you know, in Manchester with the ship canal, etc. So they're two important factors of what the club was based on, you know. So we can't ever lose them. And then the actual shape of the crest and the balls and all the rest of it is that, you know, it's quite a generic kind of design, that, isn't it, really? If you look at, you know, a lot of...
But see, do you guys think that, like, the way football is going nowadays, it's more getting commercialized? Like, for me, the Arsenal jerseys that like just have been released, and as I says, I'm old school, and I know nothing about fashion. I'm not a fashion designer. I always say on my channel, I'm only a fucking idiot in a bar I built out in my own backyard. You know what I mean? I drink pints of Guinness, and that's all I fucking know. You know what I mean? I'm not a fashion designer, and I don't claim to be. But Arsenal have now a pink fucking jersey. They have another black and white, black and fucking thing jersey. Yeah, I might wear it to bed or something like that. That's grand. But I wouldn't have the likes of Tony Adams and Rocky Rocastle, an absolute legend who's 21 years ago passed away, unfortunately, and was an absolute legend of the club. Like Tony Adams, Vieira, Petit, Overmars, Bergkamp, Henry. Can you imagine them going out in a pink jersey? Are you for fucking real? Like, this Arsenal club, or the chairman and women, whoever in the directors and all this, right? They're a fucking disgrace. And I'm sorry for coursing on their channel, but I get very passionate.
No, it's Friday. It's your Friday. You're allowed, man. Don't worry.
Yeah. I hope that's woman coke you're having there.
I'm not allowed to tell you. Solo's told me I'm not allowed to tell you what I'm drinking, but it begins with J and it's got a D in it.
I have him. I like him. I do.
Okay, so let me ask you, whilst you're here now, let me just ask you this: how confident are you that Arsenal can see this out and get top 4?
Right. The way I look at this, right now, I don't know if you look at my streams or anything like that, or anyone in your chat looked at my streams, but you're not getting the Arteta in and everything's rosy in the garden of Arsenal. We're great. Oh, come on, Arteta, he's my manager. I'll tell you, ask me fucking balls, will you? We're going to Palace on Monday night, right? We're going to Palace on Monday night. It's on TV, right? And fucking mark me words, right? It's on TV. Vieira, the whole Vieira thing, legend, right? We're going to shit ourselves, and it's going to be 2-2. I'm saying it out there, right? So
go on.
Yeah, so basically, like, everyone has, Arsenal have a game in hand, and they're this and that. We've the likes of Palace, for me, is a hard ground to go to. You know, I think we're going to draw that game. Then our game in hand is Spurs away. We haven't won there since 2014. Why are we going to win this year? For some reason, like, you know, why are all these people thinking we're going to win? So if we draw, it's a lottery, to be honest with you. The Spurs game, it's going to be a complete lottery. Then we have to play Chelsea. You know, we have to play you guys. We have to play West Ham. We have so many hard games coming up. So the top 4 race for me is wide open. It's 50-50. Like, I could see probably Spurs even getting top 4. And, like, you know, for me, for an Arsenal supporter saying that, I just think if United, and I've been saying it a while, if United get their act together, they could even go on and get top 4. Just because Arsenal have a game or two in hand doesn't mean anything for me. It really doesn't. You know, and that's as I says with the Palace game, if we win that, it's a great result. You know, Arsenal they always shit their pants when it comes to, like, you know, oh, we're on telly on a Monday night, everyone's going to be watching. Man United supporters, Liverpool supporters, like, you know, oh, what will we do? Oh, we'll draw with Palace 2-2. What do you guys think of Arsenal's chances?
Better than fucking ours. I'll be honest. I'll be honest. You know what? I was done. I'll be honest. I was done at Christmas when January window when we didn't sign any players. I was convinced that we weren't going to get the 5, and then when I can't see. It's the gap. I just can't see Arsenal messing up. It might be just 1 point. It's going to be close, but I just can't see how we, as a club, the way we've been playing, are going to make up those points. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm not going to be absolutely denied, and I'm not going to want to stick it to the Arsenal and the Tottenham fans, blah, blah, blah. But I will say I'm quite confident, and I'm quite resigned to the fact that I won't be doing any shows on a Thursday with Solo, because I would not be having any interest in Europa League football. That part of it will totally be switched off my mind. So I'm more than confident that we're not going to get top 4. Our form dictates that we won't. You know, and even if Arsenal limp over the line, it won't be us. It will definitely won't be Man United.
See, for me, from my point of view,
well, if you see the Arsenal games like that we have, like as I said there, we've West Ham, we've obviously Palace. Oh, look, people may not think the Palace game is a big deal, and everyone, like, you know, the Arsenal fanboys that, like, you know, oh, Arteta is doing a great job and we're gonna slaughter Palace. No, we're fucking not. And I'm telling you now, and everyone that's watching this, and I don't know who's watching it and whatever, like, you know, but if we fucking draw, right, I want you all to tune in, see me name there, Dale Boy Gunner TV. Go in and just go, do you know what? The fucking Egypt from Dublin was fucking right.
Let me say, Del, you know what? Let me tell you what the way I see this is. I don't know if you'll agree, but I see there's a big issue with your club and your team right now, and that is discipline. I think that's going to play a part in it, and also the pressure from like you say, the fan base on the squad and the team, in terms of you find yourselves in a position now that you didn't really expect yourselves to be in. You know what I mean? And with the running that you've got, and then, you know, with us being right behind you, Spurs, I'm not so sure about Spurs, if I'm honest. I think it's more us that Arsenal are really, really looking over the shoulder at. You know, you put all those things together, and I think it's a really tough job for Arteta and your squad to actually find what it's going to take to see this out. I really do, because, like I said, one of the biggest reasons being the discipline side of things with your squad during games.
Yeah, I completely agree. Look, come here. I'll be honest. Like, I'm still 50-50. I'll tell you, on my channel there a while ago, I was just talking about the 98 season, okay? And for me, when we won the league, the 97-98 league, and United were running us close, and it was Arsene Wenger's first full season with United. And when we played Man United in Old Trafford and Overmars scored that goal, that for me sealed the league. I knew we had it. And there was still about 5 or 6 games left, plenty of points available. But I knew then we had such a good team, we had such a good manager, like, you know, we were going to get over the line. But with this team, it's inexperienced, it's young players, you know, the manager's inexperienced. The players, as I says, they're young. I don't have that confidence. And like that, you know, back then we're playing Palace away. So what? We win. We've Bergkamp, we've Overmars, we've Petit, we've Vieira, Tony Adams. You're going to win a game. You know what I mean? Who do we have leaders in our team now that can pull us over the line? Granit Xhaka, who threw a fucking armband on the ground, the captain's armband on the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is he a leader? He is my fucking arse.
No.
Lacazette, captain's armband. He's leaving in the summer. His contract's up. He's holding the club to ransom. See you later, mate.
Yeah.
Get out of the fucking club. You know what I mean? I'm just, you know, I don't see, like, for me, you need a leader in your team to pull you over the line. The reason why Arsenal won the 98 league, Roy Keane had remember the tackle against Haaland when Haaland forced done it to him, and Roy Keane done his cruciate or the knee or something, wasn't it? That's the reason why Arsenal went and won the league, because United lost their big leader in the centre midfield, and Arsenal won it about 12 games in a row, and United knew they were looking over their shoulder. They threw a wobble, and Arsenal went on to win the league. And that's what I'm talking about. You need leaders in your team. Do United have leaders at the minute?
Well, exactly.
This is the way football is.
I was just going to point to that. I was just going to point to that and say, you know, we're in a pretty similar spot. We've got a captain who, you know, people questioning, should he be the captain? Has he got the captain qualities and blah, blah, blah. And we're in a pretty sort of similar place. But what I would say from our point of view is I just think that we've got, I think our squad is a lot more settled than your squad, a lot more mature than your squad. And obviously, I believe we've got the better manager, even though, you know, Arteta's won a FA Cup. I still think we've got the better manager in terms of, you know, understanding and knowing what's going to have to happen here for him to get this top four sort of sealed, because that was one of the probably remits of his job, you know, coming in. Yeah, you know, getting top four would be a definite.
Talk. Can I just say something there, Talk? As much as you say we see the thing with youth, they have no fear. They don't know what their ceiling is, and confidence in a young player and belief in a manager. This is where I look at Arsenal slightly differently, maybe. Right now, those young players, as much as they're young, they've never had the disappointment of failing yet. You know, their top four is their league at the moment. And I understand you're saying, you know, it's a different kind of pressure now because, you know, it's the run-ins coming. But why does it have to be that the youth are going to fail? You understand? Right now, I'm looking at it as they've got no fear, they've got no failure. And right now, they have total belief in the manager, the person who's sending them out to do their job, because they're winning games. You've got your young three behind Lacazette. As much as they don't have the experience, they've got the ability, they've got the understanding, and they've got the confidence in their manager. So already they're starting at a higher level. Everybody seems to be thinking that they're going to fail. Now, me, on the other hand, if I'm in a United and we've got a younger generation of a back three, and there's no fear. They haven't shown that level of fear yet, and this is my fear. You know, that they're going to continue going at that level until the end of the season.
But that's the thing, Mr. B, is what you've just been talking about there. Is you've got youth, which is sort of inexperienced. On top of that pressure, on top of that, no leaders in the squad to keep them grounded. In times where they're going to have to be grounded, they're going to find some difficult games where they're going to get frustrated the life out of them. The teams are going to frustrate the life out of Arsenal. You know, they might actually even go, you know, be really physical actually to get a reaction. And it's about knowing how to deal with that. And that's the key for me. That's where I think that could be one of the undoings. You know, it's okay. I mean, you know, Mikel seems to have turned a corner and all the rest of it, blah, blah. But it's a different question when you ask it in that way about, can he keep these younger players without a leader in the squad all together and focused and disciplined? Because if you've not got discipline, doesn't matter how much desire and energy and all the blahs you've got and confidence, you make the wrong decisions in a game, you're stuffed. If you get a man sent off, you know, against a Spurs or against the Chelsea or whatever, you're stuffed. We all know that. So this is the hard part for me for Arsenal. I think that's where, you know, the questions are really going to be asked about the.
That's what I was sort of saying there earlier on about Xhaka. He done it against, was it City? He got sent off. Maybe got the game. I think it was City. Look, he's our leader, you know, to these younger players, and he's getting fucking sent off. You know what I mean? And remember the time we played City? We played them off the park in the Emirates. We were winning 1-0. We were slaughtering them. There was no way back for them. I was just there. Oh my God, this is unbelievable. The Arsenal that's playing here. Next thing they got a goal. Gabriel gets sent off, and City just went in and won 2-1, won the game 2-1. You know, and that to me is the inexperience where we needed the likes of Granit Xhaka. Let's say I fucking hate him, right? And if there's any club here looking now, right? I have an electric scooter and a man bag. I'll give him a lift on the back and I'll drive him to your fucking club. I'll put in the man bag, I'll put the charger, and we'll pull in at a petrol station and charge up my little scooter, and we'll go all the way to fucking Paris. I'll go to Japan, I don't mind. I'll bring the bollocks on me back. You know, but lads, in all fairness, I don't have a scooter and I don't have any of these shit. I drive a big diesel van, and that's the way I am. Yeah.
I was just sort of sat there thinking, wait a minute, I can't imagine you on one of them scooter things. Doesn't add up that.
Save
you know what I mean? But I mean, look, yeah. Listen, you know, it is all ifs and buts, but I think like I say, from me, when you just look at, just go back and, like you say, look at the disciplinary record. Look at the yellow cards. It's okay early season, mid-season, when the expectation is, oh, will Arsenal even get into Europe? You know what I mean? But now all of a sudden, it's like, well, hold on a minute. Top 4? What? Where's that come from? You know what I mean? And it's such a hot potato. And like I say, for me, I just think that's where maybe it just might get a little bit too much. And I think I put Arsenal at the start of the season in 5th or 6th with Leeds. Now, Leeds have been the biggest, like, sort of disappointment and sort of like letdown, because you just think, wait a minute, how can you go from, 4 points from Europe last season to this season just totally capitulating under a manager that we all was sort of swooning over? And I know he was a bit crazy and all, but he had them playing some really, really great football to watch, in that system. But then all of a sudden, the house of cards just totally collapsed. So that was a disappointment. But was for Arsenal, I was always pretty confident that they would actually get into that kind of into Europe, but not in the top 4. You know what I mean? So this is the kind of unexpectedness of this situation. That is, even for me, not being an Arsenal fan, it's like, whoa, wait a minute, it doesn't add up. Like
even at Rebel, no, I don't do that shit. I look, come here, and can I just say to all the let's say the foreign fans, let's say, that are here, right? I'm just looking at Rebel's thing. Don't go to Temple Bar when you come to Bleed in Dublin, right? Just hit me up on Twitter, Del Boy Gunner TV. Give me a shout. See this here? Look, this is the name of the bar. It's in here. The Guinness is flowing all the time. We play Irish music and any fucking music you want. Yeah. So don't go to Temple Bar.
You go to Maloney's.
I go. Yeah. Look, I've been there. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But here, that's where you want to be going. Yeah, the name of me pub there. I bought a house 2 years ago, and this shed was already built. I cleared the whole lot out and I turned it into a pub. So yeah, nice. That's why I'm here.
Nice.
But anyway,
nice.
I'm gonna like, let's say just relate to what you were saying there about the inexperience and stuff like that, and like United just need to fucking shake the players or wake the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, someone needs to bleed and Kurt Zouma fucking Pogba's arse. You know what I mean? Like, fucking give him a kick in the, or Will Smith him,
they don't give a shit.
That's what's needed at the club.
They do not give a shit, bruv. I'll be honest. There's a lot of the players at the club this season who have shown that they just do not fucking care. Like, I think that's the biggest issue.
Like, with United, right? I have so many United mates, okay, that I used to love going down to the pub, and when Arsenal and United were rivals, and like, I'd be the only one in the pub supporting Arsenal because everyone supported Man United or Liverpool. That's the way it is in Dublin. And Rebel will tell you the exact same. It's the same in Cork. It's either Man United or Liverpool. And then you get some fucking psychopath in the corner that supports Arsenal. But anyway, so if Arsenal are playing United, you'll have all the Liverpool supporters having my back. You know what I mean? Or, vice versa. But, yeah, for me, United they're my favourite rival, if you know what I mean. I love United as a rival. And nowadays, United supporters are telling me, I hope Arsenal get top 4 or I hope Arsenal do well. And I'm just looking at them going, fuck off. I want you to fucking hate me. Jersey, you see me. I know this. I love you. Give me a hug. Ask me bollocks. You know what I mean? I want that rivalry back. I found myself. I think it was a few days. I think it was before Christmas. I was actually up for United in some game. I was there. Dale, what the fuck are you doing? You're actually up for United. I should be building the fucking telly and saying, fuck United. But I was up for them. There's something wrong with football, lads.
See, all right, so you're going to let you finish, talk. No, I'm going to let you finish.
I was going to say, there comes times, don't there, where, one of your rivals is playing and it's going to benefit you and you're like, oh, fucking hell, I've got to say, you know what I mean? It's like if Liverpool have got to do a number for us to get something. You know what I mean? You've got to go, oh no, when you're watching it and you're thinking, you can feel it like you're watching and you're going, if Liverpool like attacking and they're about to score a goal that could actually win the game, and then if it meant Man United was going to get top 4 or I don't know, win the league or whatever, and you'd be shouting and cheering, that feels it's just wrong, man. It's fucking wrong. And I would just rather not watch. I'd just rather not watch and wait for the result afterwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because you're kicking. Can I just ask you guys as well, and even people in the chat, about for me being an outsider, obviously looking in at United, and I'm sort of like going, I personally think United need to do what Arsenal are doing now, not just going youth, but sort of hitting the reset button. Now look, I've thick skin, so I'll say it anyway. I think United need to get rid of Ronaldo, need to get rid of Pogba, bring up a few players from the youth or whatever. The under-23 Man United squad, I think, is fairly good. There's a few good players in it. And sort of promote from there. And then add a bit of, magic dust and probably sign 1 or 2 players, in Europe or wherever. What do you guys feel that, is Ronaldo still needs to stay? Pogba still needs to stay? Or what are you thinking?
Pogba goes. I'll keep it very, very brief. Ronaldo has to stay. People talk about Ronaldo being an issue and problem. Ronaldo is maybe not right now, but has been the best player in the world. He's definitely top 4 or 5 in his position still. I'm not going to say he's top 1. I'm not stupid enough to do that because of his age, but he still could do a job. The fact that we've got players who sulked when he came in, the fact that we've got players who don't want to listen, the fact that we've got players who feel that they've done everything in their career because they're driving a big Mercedes or a Benz, that's not going to be remembered by us fans. Us fans want to see a team who wins, who wants to see the young guys, the Shoritiris, our guys in our reserves. This is what I'm saying about Arsenal. This is what I love the fact about us. It burns me. It does. But the fact that you're playing the youth and they're excelling in what we do. Our youth academy has got some fucking fire players. Somebody put something in a comment a little bit earlier on. I'm not going to be able to find it now. About Ranić purposely holding back our younger players because they don't want to be tarnished by the bullshit brush that these older. I think they may well be right with that. We just do a whole reset, So there's a lot of things there's a lot of things I want. There's a lot of things I will be keeping to myself until obviously I keep drinking my straight coke solo.
DM me after a few of them.
I could do that. So yeah, at the moment, I worry. What I do want to ask you about though is a rumor about Rashford to Arsenal. I just want you, before we lock up, before we disappear for the night, I just want your opinion on Rashford. What you feel, if you feel Rashford has gone down a level, do you think he could do a job at Arsenal? What's your thing on Rashford?
And no disrespect to Rashford, I like him as a person, I like, you know, and stuff like that. But I like to sort of, you know, shoot from the hip, as they say. Like, you know, I don't know if you've ever heard that saying, but I just get straight to the point, no fucking messing around. Big up, Mark. Yeah, good man, Mark. I'll answer that in a second. Actually, I'll just continue with this question here. Yeah, like, you know, he's okay. He's like, you know, if he's not good enough for United, why would I want him at Arsenal? Do you know what I mean? Like we're at the same level now, if you know what I mean. So is he going to improve Arsenal? No, I don't think so. I wouldn't mind him as a squad player, but you have to ask the wages that he's going to be demanding. He's going to be what's he on at United actually?
250.
Yeah, see, 250. You know, I'd rather get a young fella in and pay him, like, you know, whatever, you know, a few quid, and give him a chance rather than an ego, and then go from there, you know.
Few quid.
So yeah, so look, it's probably not the answer that you guys wanted, but would I take Rashford? Here, I'll tell you what I'll do for you, right? This is what I'll do for you, right? As I'm driving across Europe on me fucking electric scooter, I'll put Rashford on the back of a SHAH, yeah? And we're all going to Europe, yeah?
Rashford is going nowhere, man. Let alone at least come all to fucking Arsenal, bro. But let me tell you this, what I think about the Pogba and Ronaldo thing. Listen, I will quote Paddy, who is our good friend, Patrick. Sorry, yeah, it's Patrick, isn't it? Patrick, yeah, Patrick. We've got to get away from this Dad's Army FC. We've got too many aging players. And if we want to make a fresh start and reset, we've got to do it. We've got to do it now. Just do it now. At the end of the season, these players who, you know, I know what Mr. B is saying about Ronaldo, but from my point of view, you know, if he goes, I'm not too bothered. If he goes, so what? Let's bleed in some of the other you know, youth players, or go out and get a striker with a lot of potential who's not going to cost an arm and a freaking leg. Like, if I see any headlines in the summer linking us to Harry Kane, I'm gonna jump off a building, man, because I do not want Harry Kane anywhere near my club. Sorry, I don't. Not
he's
for that kind.
He's the last person you need.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? 100 odd million quid for a 29.
All of our budget, all of our budget done.
No way.
All of our budget done.
That would be diabolical. So for me, we've got to give Ten Hag a clean slate and canvas here and say to him, right, look, these players who are aging and who are not fit for the purpose of what what you're wanting to do as a manager with the club, they're gone. You tell us who you need, what type of players you need. We'll do our best to get them for you. And, you know, get some of the youth brought in, because there is, in my opinion, there's 3 players right now from our youth setup who I would gladly like to see in the squad at the start of the season. That is Will Fish, who's at Stockport County, central defender. Shoratiri, great player, winger, number 9 or number 10. Scored his banging goals in left, right, and centre. And James Garner. Absolute midfielder, baller.
Oh, yeah, he's good. Yeah.
Absolute baller. You know what I mean? So for me, there's 3 players there that whoever does come in, which probably is going to be Ten Hag, he's got a great base to work from, with plenty of hunger, plenty of desire, lots of energy, and with big points to prove. You know, but still at a malleable age where he can get that relationship right in terms of, look, I'm the manager, I'm the boss. So there is that limit. There's a limit as to how, you know, arms around the shoulder he can be, because we know that Ten Hag is not a disciplinarian. He's more of your arm around the shoulder, but in the right kind of way. You know, you've got to keep some kind of level there to keep them at it, keep them hungry,
you
keep
do
them disciplined.
And And just sort of on that point as well, like, and I think it's really important, like what I said about Lacazette earlier on, and like, you know, his contract's up in the summer, but he's captain. He still does a lot around for the youth players, like the younger players that have to come through, your Martinelli, Smith Rowe, Saka, you know, like all of them players have said Lacazette is brilliant. You know, his experience that he has, he puts his arm around their shoulder, gives them a chat, like, you know, he's always on the phone to them and stuff like that. And that's the sort of stuff that we don't see as football fans. That's really important for young players to come up. You know, the likes for United, who should be doing that, but he doesn't because he's a fucking bollocks, if you ask me, is Pogba. You know, and you know,
we need to get you on for a longer chat. We need to get you on for a longer chat because there's a lot of conversation that I can see me and Talk having with you that won't be. Obviously, football rivalry is football rivalry. You have your banter, but from what I'm hearing, there's a lot of common ground between us as fans, us as streamers as well here. So 3 weeks, I'm asking you now so we can put it in our diaries. 3 weeks I would like you to come back on. Obviously the league will be further down the line. If we need to start later because you're going to be drinking in your shed, we have no problem with that. Just let us know. I'm going to try and get a Spurs fan on as well, but I'll get one who's not an arse so that we can sit down here and have a decent conversation.
Not after PC or anything like that, because they'll end up crying. You know what I mean?
No, we'll get one who's used to abuse because we know the level that Tottenham have been on for the last few years.
Here, look, what I'll do is I'll call me secretary now, right? 3 weeks time, just book us in, yeah.
Nice.
That's lovely, man. I mean, look, we've hit the hour. We've hit the hour on a Friday. I can feel myself, what's the word, detoxing. So I'm gonna get back to what I do best on a Friday, man. Talk. As always, thank you so much, man.
No, you know that, bro. You know that. It's all good.
We shouldn't normally do this, but Gunnar, where can we find you, big man?
You can find me on Del Boy Gunner TV on YouTube, and I'm on Twitter and Instagram on that as well. And like, you know, if anyone wants to bleed Twitter me or message me or any sort of shite like that and give me dogs of abuse, I'm happy to answer all the fucking questions you have. And I've no problem at all. Come on my channel and we'll have a chat. Come into the fucking comments and give me dogs abuse because I've a big fucking scooter and there's loads of room on the back for everyone.
No boy, man. Yes. Thank you so much, man.
Loving this scooter business.
Yeah, man. Talk as always. It's been a pleasure, man.
Thanks, guys, for having me on. Cheers, lads. And thanks to everyone in the chat. Big respect.
Thank you, man. We will be back on again tomorrow. 5 o'clock. We've got a watch along to do, Talk. So we'll have our swear jar done. We'll do the detoxing and we will save our swearing for the hour and 45 minutes that they're going to put us through hell tomorrow. But this was the takeaway with me, Talk, and Del Boy. As always, thank you very much. Geezers and the guys in the comments, as always, it's been a pleasure. I hope you have lit the like button. If you haven't, and you are new, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. We will be back here tomorrow. 2 shows tomorrow. We've got the watch along and a review. Guys, take it easy. This has been the takeaway. Peace out.